quarantine life, I think, has been in many stages. The first few weeks were kind of, trying to understand what actually quarantine is and where we are as a society, and at some point looking at it very positively. I've never got so much time with family. Never got to think about anything. In some places, rather than we trying to run the life, the life makes us run all the time, and we are in most cases not in control of what we are doing. So for the first time, we got time to think about it in a manner, and everything around us was negative, but still there was some kind of a positivity that we as humans will change or whatever, and things like that. And you saw a lot of positive videos online and on WhatsApp and social media. And then slowly, as we are seeing, the lockdown doesn't seem to end, and the emotions have changed, and all the cooking sessions have died down slowly, and so there has been a lot of shift in mood over the lockdown, but we are trying to keep the hopes high. In terms of project, obviously everything on site is at standstill. There are few projects where we are working from home and trying to finish the drawings, trying to get design approved. We are also doing some consultancy in Dubai and all of that, where some bit of work is happening. So luckily, that is keeping us busy quite a bit. Daily calls with clients for approvals and things like that. So some of the projects we are able to work. Some projects which are, which needed a lot of interaction within the teams are slower. And, we are also not focusing on those more and focusing on things we are able to achieve. And plus, obviously, the efficiency has reduced drastically with whatever technology available and Zoom calls available. Still we are not used to this. We are used to sitting around the table with the drawings in front of us and brainstorming. So that's becoming very difficult. Initially, I did a lot of sketches, and I did a lot of thinking and thinking about projects which were going on. But now, because they are on hold, kind of rethinking some bit of it, or questioning, or sometimes thinking about it and celebrating also that because you never even get time to celebrate on what you have done. So that way we did draw, but at some point those sketches and drawings need to come to some form of technicalities, and then that's where they are stopping. And now I can't wait that I can't just keep looking at them in the sketchbook. I want them to be somewhere more than the sketchbook. So that's kind of testing my patience. I think the outbreak will change. It will not change a lot. It will not change too much, but it will surely change who all were involved in the decision making of a house. Initially, a lot of decision making or how a house should operate came through the ladies or the wives or the women who actually stayed in the house. The men were only interested in how much it will cost. The men were only interested in what their room was, where they will watch TV, where they will sit with their friends, and that's about it. They were not really worried about that, if I sit in this room, how will I watch the door, or how will I watch the gate, and things like that. But now, men being subjected to stay in the house, I think they will have some more say. They will start to think how the house operates, and might have their inputs in the, in the designing of the house. So I think that will change. Also, I feel that people now would be wanting more of openness in the house, because they have stayed in their current houses with, some might be open, some might be closed, but having to kind of lock down in the house, they would think a lot what the house would be, and I don't know what that would be for each one of them. But I'm sure that when we move on to designing new houses now, there will be a lot more care and understanding from the client side, how they want to stay in their house, because you never know, once you are subjected to this, I think we will be ready to be subjected to this even in near future, even if it doesn't come. But this scare of being locked down will stay with us for some time to come, and that will matter a lot how one takes a decision of how your house has to be. So that, but I don't know how people will react to it. We'll only know when we'll start to interact with new clients. It cannot be generalized across sections. What is going to happen is that people who are used to luxury, luxury is also a form of celebration of life. This is how I would celebrate life. Now celebration is a very intrinsic part of what makes us human, and people will celebrate in whatever condition they are, because unless we celebrate, we will, it doesn't give us the hope for the coming future. So people who were used to celebration, who were used to spending, will still spend, and they might have to spend less to get the same thing, because what will happen from now on, that every company to start rolling out or to start churning out again, the entire process of inflow and outflow of money, they will start to give discounts, and people who cannot go lesser than what they have are going to take benefit of that, right? So let's say in our industry, if I just compare our industry to a car industry, as both of them are slightly towards the luxury segment, people who are used to Mercedes will still buy Mercedes. In fact, they will take benefit of this time, because the companies are going to give massive discounts. So rather than a 90 lakh Mercedes, they would now buy the same thing in maybe 80 lakhs. I'm just giving you an example. But where we will have problems are the middle and the lower segment, where a person who is wanting to spend modest amount of money for a house, because the house is more of a necessity rather than something they should have, they will spend slightly less on it, because they are not making house out of the extra income they have. They are making house out of the only income they have, right? So what will happen is that the middle section and the lower section, we will see a drop in sales right now, because everybody would want to keep whatever they have in hand, because the near future is no more clear. But at the same time, people who have will take advantage of this and get what they want in a much cheaper rate. So I feel this two things will happen. That's what I can foresee. I think yes, it is going to benefit in a positive way, but not immediately. But as I said, that earlier kitchens were like the house kitchens were the main areas where the authority of the lady of the house was there, and in most of my clients I see that the wives want a better kitchen and the husband is always counting money. And now it will change. It will change a bit, not only in the modular aspect of the kitchen, but also the equipment aspect of the kitchen. People would now go for more equipment than before. Like dishwashers, washing machines, ovens, Microwave was something which was very common, but whatever equipment were there in the market, they are going to get a big boost because equipment do make your life easier, and those will see a big jump in sales. Obviously, and in turn, the equipment and the kitchen and everything will go hand in hand. So everything which a person had to do over these 2 months, which made their life miserable, they will try and invest in that. And kitchen is one of them. So as I said, initially the first 3 weeks where cooking was like a nice thing to do, and now it has become more of a task as we go on. So people would invest in all these aspects of kitchen equipment for both because they have now either started to learn or enjoy cooking, and the second is obviously reduce their effort. I have shuffled my furniture every week in my house, at least the common areas. So we did it more than ever, because I shifted initially my home office into the balconies, and then the summer started to throw me out of the balcony. So I went into the niche in a living room, and then some other place in the house. So I've been changing my house quite often, just reshuffling the furniture all over the place. So just to keep having some change in life. I'm slightly skeptical about that people would change to a degree where they will start to question everything. There are two reasons behind it. As soon as we come out of this and go somewhere towards the normalcy of again starting our construction and starting our work on site and everything, more than sustainability, people will start to look at economic sustainability. And that might, throw away all the ideal they would have, that I want a sustainable house, because it is one thing to think about it and to want it, and the other is to move away from looking at finances and then do sustainability, because sustainable construction is not always cheap, so because, and it is not cheap because it is not widely used. The day it will be widely used, it will become cheap, as a market tool. So again, talking about sustainability and things like that are more of a designer's fancy than a reality today. I would agree, use of plastic people would question, but today nobody is questioning use of plastic. Everybody will start to think about use and throw, because they will worry that I will take virus home with me if I don't throw this. We don't know how many sanitizer packs we have thrown over this last 2 months. They're all plastic. So people who were into plastic molding industries are all now making sanitizer bottles, and they are having a ball of a time selling them. So COVID-19 and sustainability are two different things altogether. Yes, being humans locked down into their spaces, being factories closed, yes, the environment has become better, but not because of our conscious decision to make environment better. It is been an outcome of us not being able to do what we do, ruin the world, So I don't think environmental friendly and COVID have any relationship. Neither COVID-19 is a result of environmental, abuse. COVID-19 is a result of a virus, someone might be able to track it to environmental issues, but I'm not very sure of that. Environmental issues are very apparent with other things like global warming and things like that, and we have not improved at all in that manner. So I don't think the aspirations will turn into reality so easily. People will talk about environment for some time. Designers will talk about it, because designers are slightly more inclined towards it. But as soon as when we go into market, people will more talk about money and economic sustainability than environmental sustainability. That's what my feeling is. I might be pessimistic in this, but that's what my feeling is.